So, can Kazuha solo the Spiral Abyss? The answer is yes. Question is, how many times do I have to do it? Well, let's see. I probably shouldn't even be showing the first 8 floors of Abyss just because they're piss easy, but sometimes I just want to go back the memory lane. Look at this! I feel so powerful. I don't even have to do anything. It's so funny looking at them step inside the death zone. Thanks, Akila. Oh, come on. Bup! Abyss mages are so stupid. Ah yes, floor 3. The original Venti advertisement. You guys remember when we were at low ARs and trying to unlock Xiangling? But we had a hard time because these treasure hoarders just didn't want to die? Yeah, good times. I'm just gonna use Kazuha on the first half because I couldn't be bothered to do both sides. Get inside! I'll take that too. Really? Okay. Get over here, both of you. Kazuha is just so good against groups. Okay, who's healing? Oh great, another mob for Kazuha to mass murder. Okay, never mind. Floor 7, aka the floor of one-shots. I am slightly worried because if I don't kill the Fatsuis quickly, their shields will become a pain to break. Kazuha, you know you could crit, right? Nice! Come on. I think I should have saved my ult. This domain actually looks pretty. I think we should have more domain designs like this. And we're back to depression. Ew, what are these buffs? Also, I have a tip for you guys. If you want to finish the battle pass boss thingy, you can just beat this dude over and over again. It counts. That way you don't have to wait around 3 minutes for it to respawn. That took way too long once again. Floor 9. We're finally at the harder parts. So I have to be careful here because sheer cold exists, and Kazuha can't heal himself. Okay, chill down, buddy. Gather around and whoop! Uh-oh. Okay, wait. Alright, safe. Buddy, you're not doing that. This floor really loves their flowers, don't they? Get over here. I have no idea what's going on. Are they dead? They're not dead. Stop that. Oh, it's Big Boy. Salmatros are so cute, but so stupid. Ow. I'm surprised that this heat pad thingy is surviving this thing's attacks. Floor 10. This is like the cryohypostasis stage, right? I don't know how to deal with that. Nice landing, Kazuha! Okay, sheer cold, need to find the Sealy. Where's the Sealy? Over there, alright. Oh no, not the flowers. Let me out! There's one more? Oh. Alright, time to fight Zalith. Let's go. Let's do that again. I'm gonna pick resistance this time for safety measures. Wait, I can stay inside and not get hit? Today I learned.
Surprise, mother.
Why that hit me? Okay, so next objective. Not die. You're kidding me. Alright, Zalith, playtime's over. So for floor 11 onwards, I will try to be more serious because these floors do become harder to solo. So what you're hearing right now is a voiceover of me narrating on how I got through each chamber. Besides, I was focused the whole time anyway, so there wasn't much talking during these clips. For floor 11, you guys know about the swirl buffs that the Abyss gives. To no surprise, Kazuha tears through most of the chambers in this floor with ease, but with the exception of one. The first chamber was your typical defense monolith that is filled with mobs. It was nothing too hard for Kazuha to handle, although the faraway archers were annoying because Kazuha's AoE doesn't really reach that far. I managed to keep the monolith at 85% health, which I'd say is decent. The second chamber. Despite not having an element that I can swirl off, Kazuha was still able to beat most of the Fatumis before they were able to cast their shields, thanks to Kazuha's good scaling and his abilities. The Electro Fatui was pretty annoying to deal with because I ran out of stamina when he was attacking, but even then I still managed to beat him with the shield on. Now, for the fun part! Kazuha versus a Ruin Guard and a Ruin Hunter. This was the chamber I was talking about earlier. It was significantly harder because of multiple reasons. First off, there was no element that Kazuha can swirl off, which drastically reduces his own damage output and essentially makes the Abyss buff useless. Second, these two peeps are highly resistant to physical damage. So when I'm not using my animo skills, I basically do baby numbers. And third, and the worst part, I cannot even use Kazuha's skills. Ruin Hunters are probably the one enemy that counter Kazuha the most, because they fly up in the air whenever Kazuha uses elemental skill, which then makes them invulnerable to all of his attacks. My initial strategy for this chamber was to bust down the Ruin Hunter as quickly as possible with physical attacks, then take out the Ruin Guard afterwards. But this strat doesn't work for two reasons. Number one, I deal no damage to them, while they do a lot to me. Eventually, I get taken out first because I was carelessly hit or I run out of stamina to dodge. And second, these hunters fly above anyway when I take too long to beat them. It kinda defeats the point because the purpose of this strategy was to kill them before they even fly up in the air. But in one run, I noticed that their hunters' missile attacks are actually not as hard to dodge as I thought they would be. And while they were in midair, I was nearly able to take out his Ruin Guard buddy had it not for careless dodges. So what I eventually did was at the start of the fight, I used my skill so the hunter will fly up and have its attacks become predictable. And then I take out the Ruin Guard first. And as much as possible, I try to use my ultimate while getting attacked so I can get iframes and a Kilophavonius slow heals. Then from then on, it's a slow battle between me and the Ruin Hunter, with a lot of close calls. If you're interested in physical Kazuha gameplay, well, here it is! So for floor 12, this was where I used Kazuha for both halves to give myself more of a challenge. And let me just start off by saying this. Screw these Geo Bishops! They made my life way harder than it should be. Them and their stupid attacks, stupid hitboxes, and stupid stagger mechanics. Anyways, the first two Geo Bishops were not that bad because Cryo and Electro are not the most threatening combination in the world. And the strategy was pretty simple. Just go on the offensive and try to get as much crystallized shields as possible. Though it did take me quite some tries, I eventually learned some of their attack patterns and also was able to be smart on deciding when to use Kazuha's skill to dodge their attacks. Second chamber. Since this one is filled with treasure hoarders, you'd think that Kazuha would have an easy time, right? Well, for the most part, you're correct. I did reset a few times trying to get myself to swirl Pyro because those cocktails apparently do a lot of damage. But once I was able to swirl Pyro and clump them together, it's pretty much done deal for the first wave. For the second, I focused on this piece of because I don't want it getting its annoying shield off. I got some unfortunate freezes every now and then, but I still managed to get through this chamber with ease. Now, last chamber. This one took me only one try. Although it's not really much of a surprise because this Abyss was tailor-made for Kazuha, especially when I have his C1 where he can spam so much swirls in such a short amount of time. It makes him really effective in breaking elemental shields. Also, Kazuha's also nice here because he doesn't fire his ult at the middle of nowhere, unlike a certain someone. Once I broke the Piss Mage's shields and took them down together, it's an easy one-on-one against the Abyss Lector. Which, by the way, I won this fight. At this point, it's just a matter of breaking their shield with Animo while also avoiding getting hit at the same time. Alright, so we're done with the first half. You think the second half would be easier? Haha, nope. The amount of resets and deaths that I had to go through was actually insane. And the worst part about all this is that I have to redo the first half every single time I mess up on the second. You could imagine how long this took me. Anyways. Now these two Geo Bishops are much worse than the first half because they feature our favorite combination of Cryo and Hydro. So my strategy here was different from the first half. I had to go on the defensive and stay away from them as much as possible. Being too close with them applies myself with the Cryo status, which just opens up so many problems like slow movement or freeze. Also, attacking them too close means that I have to dodge a lot of their melee attacks as well, which, surprise, drains a lot of stamina. So what I ended up doing was I only attack them once I have the stamina, and I only use my animal attacks from a safe distance. Along with Kazuha's wonky way of avoiding attacks through his skill, this also allowed for smooth escapes while being able to dish out damage. At the end of the day, it's just basically praying that I don't run out of stamina and don't get frozen by these two. But that crystallized shield saved me a lot there. Second chamber. You would think that it's the hatchlings that gave me a hard time, and I thought about that too, but it actually isn't them. In fact, when I'm not chasing to clear time, these hatchlings aren't really that irritating. They have predictable movesets, and they even give away crystallized shields, which allows for comfortable movement. It's actually this big boy over here that caused me the most trouble throughout this whole Abyss run. Normally, lava shows aren't really a problem since they also have predictable attacks. But what made this fight so difficult was the Geo aura that it had. Those shockwaves do a lot of damage. I think about 3,000 per tick. So basically, I have to be on the lookout for both the shockwaves and the Lava Shell's attacks. This is also where Kazuha's skills sort of come as a liability, because I can't always control where he lands his plunges, so sometimes he lands directly on the shockwave or one of the Hulk smashes. Even his ult becomes kind of a hindrance because it does obscure my vision. Which is important because I have to pay attention to both the indicators of the shockwaves and this big boy's attacks. And even until the end, this fight caused a lot of trouble, because I did the desperate move of using my ultimate when we were both close to dying, which then led to a lot of problems in this chamber. So without my ultimate, I can't quickly get rid of the Abyss Mage's shields. What happened was me being constantly vaporized, frozen, or melted. So after a few tries, I managed to avoid getting brutally murdered, and I'll leave the rest for you guys to watch. I will never do this challenge again.